Hello, Sisu Circle, and welcome back to another episode of Who's the Baby? I know I've taken a little bit of a hiatus over the summer. I just wanted to kind of take a break and live life and do the things. So, for me and my emotional support mug, thank you so much for tuning in and coming back to this podcast. So, this season, I have kind of redirected a little bit. I know originally I had talked about being a parenting and family coach, which I still love and enjoy doing. I just feel like I don't want to limit myself or who my audience is or who I'm attracting in just based on being a parent. I feel like I know a lot of young people or people who aren't parents who might still be interested in my services and coaching. So just wanted to kind of put it out there in a different sort of realm. And the way that I saw this, or the way that it was introduced to me, was that it's not a full pivot, right? It's a 1 or 2 degree shift. And it was presented in such a beautiful way. It was actually a tarot reading over the internet. Anyway, so what happens is, say you're at the beginning, you're at the starting point, and then you make this 1 or 2 degree shift, and it doesn't seem like much. It's just a 1 degree variation, but over time, right, it does create a more expansive, wider net. So we'll see how this goes. I'm excited. I have some new topics to get into that aren't necessarily related to parents or families. I've been doing a lot of research and reading and a lot of work with energy, and some questions have been posed to me, like how do your chakras or do your energies line up, or how do they affect mental health, and what exactly is energy and frequency. And I know that this is kind of like a buzz category right now. Certainly something that I've enjoyed diving into and learning more about. I'm really curious, and I would love to kind of dive in and get to know more about it with all of you. I just want to kind of define a little bit what an authenticity coach means, or what does it mean to me. So I love doing little like bubbles and word art, I guess, if you could say. It's not really art, it's awful, but so I wrote the word authenticity very center of the page, and then I just write little offshoots of one word definitions or what that might include, or some of the words surrounding defining my version of authenticity. I have knowing, joy, light, resolution, self love, self acceptance, security, beliefs, love, awareness, perseverance, security, safety, alignment. I'm sure there's a ton more. This is just like a 10-minute activity that I did for myself, and I love it. I think maybe we need to do that a little more often. It's certainly helpful for me not only to express myself and say I'm an authenticity coach now, but to have the awareness of what does it actually mean for me, and if there are clients seeking me out as a coach, how do I define that? How do I live that for myself? And does that align with what you want and what are looking for in whatever services that you might be searching for? Alignment is a buzzword, and it's been coming in quite a bit on social media, and it's obviously very important, and one of those things that might be a little bit overused. I mean, not everything that you do in life is going to be in alignment, and that's okay. The word alignment, in terms of the buzzword that we have now, kind of makes it seem like your rose-colored glasses, like you're never going to struggle, you're never going to have to do things you don't want to do, and you can just say like, it's not alignment, like you're never going to have to do hard things, and that's not really the case, obviously. I would like to dive into that a little bit and just talk a little bit about what alignment does mean or can mean. For me, alignment is, my analogy is like this river, right? This winding river called life. And you're just sitting on this little inner tube, just floating along. And the current is so gentle and it's just pushing you forward. And it's so nice and it's so easy. And it's just like things are flowing, right? So I actually have a tattoo very similar to this little analogy. But Like you're not near any rocks, you're not near the edges, you're right in the middle of this river. It's flowing and things are just moving and happening, and it just feels easy and it's winding and it's beautiful. You're able to just look up, look at the sky, look around, look at the trees, the landscape, and think, wow, this is amazing. Okay, that's alignment. When you are out of alignment or when there is resistance to alignment is when you might get stuck in the mud, right? You might have to plant yourself at a certain variation, and anything that's going against the current, okay? Anything that feels that either you're not flowing with the current, you might be getting close to an edge or a rock, or you might be stuck in one of those little pools that kind of keeps you spinning sometimes. Anything that is not, or preventing you, I guess, from moving forward in this trajectory of life. So the next question might be, how do I know if I'm in alignment? Or how do I get out of this little pool of spinning? Or how do I get out of this resistance, right? How do I find this flow? That's where coaching comes in, because we can help you remove these blockages or remove your foot in the mud. But a lot of it has to do with action, deducing down to the very basics so that you will take said action to get yourself back in alignment. And what I mean are the actions or the steps that I'm taking in my life flowing with the things I represent, or the purpose that I say I'm supposed to fulfill. Are they going against whatever that is? That's kind of a big topic for us right now, because I think a lot of people might have a struggle even defining what that is. And I think that's where coaching comes in, right? Knowing your beliefs, knowing your purpose, and then setting goals or setting yourself up to help you become more in alignment, or taking actions that align, that flow with whatever that is. So there is a lot of self-discovery. There is a lot of curiosity. There is a lot of processing through some unwanted and even negative at times emotions. There's a lot of shadow work. There's a lot of really digging in and looking at the parts of yourself that you might not like or love, shedding some light on why that might be, and getting to the root cause of, how did I get here? Or why is it that I don't like these things? And how, now knowing, might I have changed my belief systems around those situations? COVID really did a lot for us in terms of us getting a little bit more I don't really want to say self-awareness, because some of us, I think it did opposite of that. It just made people go a little bit crazy. But for the people who are genuinely thinking, okay, this happened for a reason, a lot of us need to slow down, especially as Americans. You know, we are achieving, getting to the next echelon of this mountain of seeking. Helped a lot of us discover that some of the things that we're seeking are already in here. We just have to dig a little deeper and look for it, which also means taking the time, right? Taking the time to dig in, to process, to feel, which is a struggle in and of itself, and then learn to forgive, learn to let go, and start anew, and be okay with the unknown of starting anew or stepping into something that you've never done before, or might not have the experience or the awareness that you've had before. And obviously that's very scary. For me, I have just taken stock of, who do I say I am in my head? Who do I want people to know about me as being me? For example, if an interviewer on the street says, you know, Ileana, give me some words that describe her. My hope is that the words that I tell myself I am are the words that my friends also tell this interviewer that I am. And to me, that's what alignment is, right? Integrity. It's about taking the actions that represent who we say we are in our heads to ourselves. When we talk about energy, when we talk about frequency, and some of these other buzzwords out there, resistance, all of these things, it does kind of all match up, and it all comes down to when we hit resistance or when we step out of alignment, we're met with resistance. We're met with something that says that this isn't right. This isn't the way things normally go. This isn't the way you show up, right? And for me, that was a big learning curve and understanding as well. So I talked about this earlier as becoming a parent. I wasn't showing up the way I thought I would have, the way I thought I should, the way in my head the things I say I am weren't aligning with the things I was actually doing. And that's taken time. I mean, this has been my daughter's 6.5, so it goes to show you that. But not only in parenting, over the past couple of years, post-COVID, I would say 3 years. Yeah, this has been a really big life's journey for me. And I hope to never stop learning about myself and getting more consciousness of who I really am, what I really want, and making those things happen for myself. You know, taking care of me, taking care of my desires, my wants, my dreams. That ultimately is what alignment and authenticity mean to me. For season 2 of this podcast, I will start doing is by talking about different categories in terms of energy, alignment, frequency, somatics, chakras, all of that good stuff. And then kind of relating it to real world situations, getting out of the woo woo world and bringing it more to our reality. I hope you stay along for the journey. If I've lost you, I understand. If any of this is resonating with you, please let me know. Hit a like and subscribe. If you have any ideas for future episodes, or if I'm totally out of bounds and you just think I'm nuts, you can tell me anything. It's fine. Please hit me up on Instagram. It's at Sisu Coaching LLC. SISUCOACHING LLC. I'm actually genuinely happy to be doing this podcast. I know there aren't a ton of listeners at the moment, but I'm just so grateful to those of you who are listening. This just brings me joy. I find it fun and interesting, and I just like learning. So I like to be able to do research and come and talk, and I like talking. For those of you who are still with me, thank you so much listening to my rant. It feels great to be learning at a depth that I never thought I would reach in my consciousness. It feels amazing to actually, that's not really true. I would say it feels so great to come back to the depth where I was when I was a child, where I knew who I was, what I knew, what I believed in, what I knew what my purpose was. It just feels like I'm coming home. And that's ultimately what I want for everyone. And I feel like we're in such a state of disarray and conflict and heightened awareness, hypervigilance, and we're not able to flow into a mindset of abundance because we're just always stuck in this waiting for the shoe to drop. And yeah, I just want to feel good. Not all the time. I understand that's not a reality, but generally live my life of a place of joy, gratitude, and peace. It feels so good. I just want to share that. So, from me and my emotional support mug, thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you on the flip side.